Hello and welcome back to Metaphor ReFantazio. We are on our own Gauntlet Runner and we've been given one mission: explore the Gauntlet Runner. So that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to start by having a little chat to Falkenberg. The runner makes a smooth ride, at least. Eccentricities aside, he's certainly earned his title, and I had auto on. Eccentricities aside, he's certainly earned his title as court engineer. As said, I'm more concerned with his unseen workings. I do hope he hasn't made any dubious additions. Hello.
Ooh.
A carriage can't begin to compete with a Gauntlet Runner's speed. I suppose they've earned their reputation. That I'm in constant fear of losing my lunch is far from ideal. Once I'm used to it, I'm sure the journey will be pleasant. I've also been thinking about these two, and I've been thinking more specifically about their bond conversations that we've had. So, their bond conversations were very much set in the city, and it made sense for them to happen in the city. So I'm assuming that that means that there won't be any bond conversations while we're on the Gauntlet Runner and going places. Also, Maria isn't here, so there'll be no bond there. Brigitte won't be here. So what I'm wondering is whether the loop in this game is go away, do your mission, and then come back to the city and do whatever you're going to do in the city while you're there, like back to the capital. But yeah, I don't know. Also, have you seen the background? Let me see if I can change it. It's actually moving through an area. I don't know like whether it's just going in circles, but that is actually like moving through a zone. That's kind of neat. What's up with the round table? There's a map showing the area around our destination, Martira. What?
Let's see here.
I wonder where we're at right now. Oh, so that just shows you your current progress.
Campground.
That's cool. Okay, if you just want to see where you're at, stairs to cockpit. The cockpit appears to be up above here. Mind the rope, lad. Wouldn't want you going overboard. Perhaps I should stay away from now. Massive door. This door must lead to the end of the Gauntlet Runner. It's locked tightly to prevent accidental entry. Oh, also, do we have any new memorandums before we head any further? We do! Gauntlet Runner Engineer. An engineer that designs and maintains Gauntlet Runners. Because Magla crystals power Gauntlet Runners, engineers need to be familiar with the workings of magic and magic igniters, but they also need to be well versed in a wide range of fields, from dragon crystal technology for movement to armaments for battle. As the costs required are substantial, engineers almost exclusively come from noble families who own Gauntlet Runners. And then we have Milo Maurizio, an Ishkaya candidate participating in the tournament. A princely man claiming to be an illegitimate son of the Montario royal family, he pledges to adopt a caste system based on beauty, with himself the most beautiful of all, bestowing grace and honor upon the country as its king. A caste system based on beauty. Caste system based on a subjective requirement. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. His suave looks and mannerisms have earned him a devout following. Each time he smiles from the stage on his Gauntlet Runner, the Prince of Beauty Hildebrand, shrill cries can be heard from the crowd. Or the Palace of Beauty Hildebrand. Read what it says. Ishkaya tribe. A tribe recognizable by their avian wings as well as their almond eyes and long eyelashes. Though the fewest in number of the 8 tribes, they have a reputation for their intelligence, giving them a strong presence in bigger cities. I was about to say, we've seen an awful lot of them for them being the least numerous, but if we see them more in cities, then it makes sense. Many find higher status in intellectual labor, such as scholars and sanctors and the like, making it not uncommon for Ishkaya to be wealthy. Due in part to their regal stature, the Ishkaya are commonly admired. However, the act of speaking down on others has been ingrained into their nature for some, making it just as common for them to be resented. Incidentally, their avian-like wings are purely cosmetic. Though they are able to move them to a small degree, they have no structure. They're actually just clusters of feathers. Those who aren't fond of the Ishkaya latch onto this deficiency of flight to ridicule them. Oh, okay. It is kind of odd that when it's describing all the tribes, it's like, and here's how you can best make fun of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 tribes, but the Elder is the 9th tribe, right? Yeah. So we have 6 of the 8 tribes that have currently been listed. Okay, interesting. Carrying on down here, Neuras. Neuras Korax, a genius engineer of the Ishkaya tribe, he can single-handedly manage all things Gauntlet runners, from planning to maintenance to piloting, and was contracted to build the prince's Gauntlet runner before the prince vanished. He comes from a noble, highly respected family with a stately mansion in Grand Trad, but as he shows absolutely no interest in social status or family prestige, is dismissed by his family as an unmanageable oddball. Despite his pedigree, his appointment to build the prince's runner was solely based on merit, not his social standing. Since then, Neuras has retained a strong sense of gratitude toward the royal family. Unfortunately, as both the prince and king met successive suspicious ends, Neuras was unable to repay their favour, which burdened him greatly. Okay, cool. Also, just because I can't let it go, it was based purely on merit. However, we know that the only people who are able to be Gauntlet Runner engineers are nobles, and if he wasn't a noble, then would he have been in the right situation to even be a candidate to be put in charge of this Gauntlet Runner project? I'm just saying. Although it is pure, he's probably really good at it. It's like, but there could have been someone better who wasn't given the opportunity. I'm just saying. Anyway, Gideaux. Ovis Gideaux, a muscular, bald-headed Roussant warrior who serves both as captain of the monk army, the enforcement arm of the crown theocracy, and Fortune's primary bodyguard. He assumed the role of captain after his predecessor lost his life during the suppression of the Mage Academy in Ontario. He specializes in a unique fighting style that combines magic, staff, and spear techniques, passed down through generations of warrior monks. Glodel. Gideaux Glodel, a young Roussant warrior who serves Luis in his lower rungs. Keeping his dog at his side, even in battle, he's earned the title the Black Hound, out of both fear and ridicule. Because Luis did not formally enter the tournament for the throne, Glodel entered of his own volition to secure Luis's following and act as a proxy for their support. He hopes that if he can make a name for himself in the tournament, Luis will acknowledge him. Similar goal to us in a way. Also, I'm just noticing here, Roussant. If we head back to the previous one that we saw, who was, I've lost them. I've completely lost this other person who we previously saw, but I'm sure they were a. Now I'm struggling. Is it Barden? Nope, it wasn't Barden. It's a problem when your mind is not able to recall things very quickly. You go, who's that person again? There's Gideaux, Luis, Glodel, Captain Linger, Moore. Who's the person we looked at the start of the episode? Where have they gone? Oh well, we'll get to them later. Batlin. Basically, what I was going to say is it appears to be a lot of Roussants in here. I'll find this person. Is it Milo? It's Milo. Ah, there we go. He's Ishkaya. Okay, never mind. So, my point was also not true. Which is even better. I was going to say there's a lot of Roussants, but actually it's like 2 out of 3. Batlin. Albus Batlin, a Clamar man who works as a crier for the Crown Theocracy. Most criers prefer rhetoric that venerates and strengthens the authority of Sanctism and the royal family, but Batlin is the opposite, prioritizing the provocations of the people as though commentating on a sport. Though highly admired amongst the townspeople, he drew the ire of the Crown Theocracy for his roguish methods. However, when the royal magic made what accounted to one's popularity the sole factor in succession, the Crown Theocracy pivoted, suddenly assigning Batlin the monumental responsibility of heading Sanctism's public relations as the tournament's official crier. Yeah, this is a very common one that you see in anime a lot, this kind of role. Usually if they have a tournament arc, there'll be somebody who's now like, ah yes, this person just happens to be this role, but it's effectively a commentator. It's just a very common trait, like trope. Anyway, let's do some exploring. What have we got here? Not now, there are more pressing matters at hand. What about this washroom though? Incredible! Wow, so this room's made for bathing? Can we really just hop in mid-ride and take a real bath? Now that I could get used to. I call first dip.
Hey!
Were you just gonna stride up and strip nude? Where do you think you are? Unacceptable.
Really?
It's a bathing room. Oh, odd to mention, no running water yet. Working on it.
Damn.
What? Unacceptable. You didn't know it existed a second ago and now it's unacceptable. It isn't working? Deck? Oh. Well, this is something. This is crazy looking. Oh. I'm not sure I like moving out here. This is terrifying. Also, what are those? Some kind of demon-like creature? Well, we're heading straight at one, so maybe it'll give us a better look. Yeah, what have we got up there? We are actually getting a good look. Fantastic. Yeah, almost like a, assuming that's like some kind of, yeah, it looks almost like a dragon. So maybe like some kind of dragon demon hybrid or a smaller dragon or something. Anyway, strategy room. Cool. Pantry. Oh, we're allowed in here.
Oh.
There's some Gideaux meat and red grass. I wonder who left them here. I could use these for cooking. Oh, that's nice. Use it again. Nothing noteworthy here today. Ah, so check it often. The engine room. I think that's where we have to go eventually. Food shelf. Stocked with food suitable for a long journey. I prefer to cook it first before eating it.
So?
You have to wash your dishes properly, but being that water's a precious resource, that actually goes double. Okay. Hulkenberg said that most things are edible if you put them in a fire, but is that really true? God, we don't know the basics.
Got it.
It's the kitchen. I can prepare meals here. Okay. Oh, in fact, it's got a little thing there as well. Alright. Well, that's how we get to sleep. That's a interesting bed situation. I guess it makes sense, but it's going to be cramped. I mean, the only reason why I'm confused about that is because it's so, like, look how much empty space we got in here. We got so much space, and it's like, yes, and the bed, as minimal space as possible. In fact, the bottom ones don't even have anywhere. These are beds. They seem pretty small. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Also, there are only 3 beds, despite there being 4 of us. Maybe Neuras doesn't sleep. There are a lot of books lined up. Okay. This? There's some sort of strange device wrapped in cloth. It looks like one of Neuras' inventions in the making. Okay. Neuras' personal collection of books. They're too technical for me to understand. These books are a mess. We should clean this up at some point. Okay. Back deck. Ooh. So, cloth-covered barrel.
Nice.
Beneath this cloth, there appears to be a big barrel. I wonder what it's used for. I don't know, but now we get to have another look at some of these things. Oh no, it's those horrible things. Oh no, get out of here. Get out of here. Right, go back into the center. Alright, well I think we've explored the Gauntlet runner. Let's head downstairs. Oh, there's more. Oh, okay. Also, what is this? Washing machine? A machine that does laundry, handmade by Neuras. Seems there's nothing in it at the moment. Okay, maybe we find dirty clothes and we can wash them. Potentially. In here, what have we got? Pile of powder. I've never smelled this fragrance before. I can't tell whether it's used for food or for fuel. There's a fluffy bag that's perfect for sitting on. If I sat on it, I don't think I'd ever be able to move. Okay. What else have we got down here? Small cabinet. Some unique items are lined up here. Neuras' personal belongings, I think. Also, very stripy shirt. Neuras' research desk. This must be where new inventions are born. Yeah, I was trying to get a good view on that one there. Can't really see what it is. Oh, it's like a vacuum cleaner. Yep, in fact, I think that's literally what that is. Alright. Upright cleaning tool. Oh, it's that. Oh, okay. Cool. Hello. You have anything to say?
Now, where was I?
Oh, okay. I guess we could go to Academia, but there's no real reason to. Alright, well, I guess I'll save us having now explored, and we'll move on to the next place. Okay. Let's have a look at this. So the heart of the Gauntlet Runner. Literally.
This?
Wonder what makes this thing run.
Hello?
First time on a Gauntlet Runner, eh? Whoa, that scared me. Looks like the pipe's in here too. Call the runner phone. There's one in every room.
Spectacular.
Now, I heard you speculating on the old girl's inner workings. Gauntlet runners use magla crystals as fuels to run, you see. Used to be you would take your life in your hands when you traveled the wilds. Then, thanks to the kingdom's greatest minds, the Gauntlet Runner was born. The runner's actual legs are based on a colossal beast, made for zero momentum loss, even on the roughest terrain. Among other things, I modified this craft with a bit more zip and speed. Another step closer to my dream. What dream? Long story, my girl. Best told to a captive audience with no plans for the next few days and nights. Never mind then, maybe some other time. Anyway, still plenty about the old girl that's a work in progress, but by the time I'm done, she'll have some new tricks. You just watch. It'll be sunset before long, so start thinking about bedding down for the night. Can't run in the dark, and the old girl needs her rest as much as we do. Okay. Gauntlet Runner activities. You will continue towards your destination while spending time on the Gauntlet Runner. Utilize its facilities to obtain items, raise abilities, or do other things you wouldn't be able to do in town. Yeah, so that confirms what I was saying. What they've done is they've split your activities in this game. So unlike Persona, where every month you have everything available to you at all times, basically, and you're just choosing the order you want to do things in to kind of optimize your time, in this one it's saying, when you're in town, you do your town activities, and you get as much of that done as you can in town. When you're on the Gauntlet Runner, you're going to do a separate set of activities, and this means that potentially you can do things that in, say, Persona you usually wouldn't. Like in Persona, it has some of these things that you can do, but you wouldn't normally do them because you're trying to get the most in that game social links, in this game bonds. But if bonds aren't available on the Gauntlet Runner, then suddenly these things go up in priority quite a lot. They allow you to actually use them, which I think is interesting. It's interesting they made the change anyway. So obtain items, raise abilities, or do other things you wouldn't be able to do in town. Try using the kitchen, reading books at the bookshelf, or using the washing machine. More activities will become available over time. Oh, you can also spend time with your allies while traveling, which may help improve your virtues. Improve your virtues, not your bond, though. Interesting. So we should spend a day in here doing something. Now I imagine if we check Traveler's Voices, a lot of people do laundry. And that's top right, spent time in a runner. Yes, laundry, cooked a meal, cleaned a runner, read from a bookshelf. So laundry, I assume, is an item thing. That must get you items. Read from a bookshelf must improve you. So this must improve a virtue, I would assume. Maybe this improves, or maybe it improves an ability. I was trying to think what virtue would improve, but I don't think it will improve any of them. We head up here. Obviously, hanging out with Hulkenberg and Stroll might improve virtues. Cooking will cook something. This, reading a book, will improve so this will improve a random virtue, a book. Okay. I'm just looking at these and doing assumptions based upon how they're described. This will obviously be somewhere to cook. Okay. I'm going to speak to you as well.
Speaking of,
Neuras said he got the kitchen up and running. If you're hungry, would you fancy a meal? I hardly consider myself a chef of any great skill, but Stroll said he wanted to try some of the recipes he learned at the Hushed Honeybee. Okay. Stroll? Stroll? Ugh, I feel drunk. Are you okay?
I'm sorry.
I'll survive. I can handle the swaying of the carriage, but this, it's another beast. Seems I'll need to learn to endure it. Okay. So, this is cooking. Random skill. Down here, we got random items. We got items. And then we got this. I don't know what this is. Right? Because this one, all the rest of them are kind of like you can work it out from context. I have no idea what this will do. So let's save and do it. I don't know why I'm saving. I guess the risk in doing this is very low, but let's do it anyway.
Come on.
This weird tool is actually a cleaning igniter that Neuras modified to create wind that collects dust. Pretty nifty. I know it's hard, but all the lifting and bending over is sure to strengthen your legs, yeah? My max HP will increase. Well, that's nice that it at least tells us. Alright, well I'm going to go to these things then and get to tell us what they do.
This?
It's Neuras' homemade washing machine. Washing clothes can sometimes cleanse the mind too. This will increase my max MP.
Understood.
Oh, so not items. Okay. In here, I can read a book, and a book would then give us something. Okay, that's fine. And then, this is going to say it's going to cook, right? Let's get cooking. Use the Gauntlet Runner's cooking table to whip up some food for you and your allies. Eating prepared meals can grant your party various positive effects. To cook, you will need ingredients. Buy them, win them, or find them lying around. Try to experiment as much as possible. After you made every dish at least once, you may learn how to create the ultimate culinary masterpiece. Huh. And that gets us some ingredients. Nice. Whose handwriting is that? There are notes here about new potential recipes. Nice. Okay. That's cool. That's a lot of recipes. Want to make something? If so, we should try to have everyone teach us their culinary specialty. Okay. So, we have MP, HP, cooking, random virtue. I think I want MP. MP is our problem. So we want to grab some more of that. I think. That makes sense to me.
This?
Let's see how much it gives us. Do laundry.
Understood.
Okay, let's. Wait, hold on. Someone else's laundry is in here. I'll go get them and they can do laundry with us. Okay.
Now then.
You've got to keep the water at a consistent temperature to avoid staining the clothing. Why am I a master of laundry, you ask? Because my parents practically beat it into me. Any noble who can't wash his own clothes isn't worth the fabric he wears. Or something to that effect. I had to learn all about different materials. In hindsight, I think they were just trying to teach me not to take advantage of my title. Wisdom that still serves me to this day.
Nonetheless.
The more time that passes, the more I understand how great my parents were. I did laundry as Stroll extolled the virtues of clean clothes. My max MP has increased. 3. Okay. I gotta say, 3 is not a lot. 3 is a very, very small number. You're gonna need a lot of 3s to build up, like, anything meaningful. Also, interesting that it says protagonist and not our name. Okay. Also, I found some money in the washing machine. Must have gotten mixed in with the laundry. Oh, well, it's not mine, I don't think. Why don't you just hold on to it? Okay, a little bit of money. Fair enough. After drying everything thoroughly, we finish the laundry.
The Gauntlet Runner arrives at the desert camp as the scorching sun sinks below the horizon, and the curtain of night falls over the land. Protected within the stalwart hull of the Gauntlet Runner, the party gains a short, peaceful respite.
Do I get an evening task? Ooh. I guess so. Establishing an encampment. At night, the vast wilderness outside town is ensconced in darkness. Forcing your way through the unmarked territory is very dangerous, even with a stalwart Gauntlet Runner. Instead, establish camp somewhere safe. You can resume your travels the next morning. While in the encampment, you can use any of the facilities on the Gauntlet Runner like usual. You can also reminisce about the journey with your allies. Give it a try! 3 days until we reach Martira. First time camping in the Gauntlet Runner. I'm kind of excited, but it'll be a long night, so why not spend some time relaxing with someone? Ah, so we could potentially relax with Stroll, and that would increase our Imagination. Hello.
Your thoughts?
Ho ho! How was that ride, eh? Smooth as butter, luxurious as a palace, awe-inspiring, tear-jerking. Absolutely. Wahahaha! This gauntlet, this runner's such a guilty pleasure. Though credit where it's due, my tinkering certainly helped make her what she is. Though, full disclosure, that's all thanks to a little mechanism I whipped together that keeps her legs from sinking into the dunes. Wouldn't have to worry about the terrain if she could just fly, but that's a story for another day. Off you go, better get your 40 winks. Campfire? They're insects gathering by the campfire.
Yep.
Oh, apparently you can eat these bugs, well, according to Hulkenberg anyway. I should try to catch one. I got a Dream Eater moth. I caught one of the bugs gathered by the campfire. It's my turn to cook, I should use it as an ingredient. Hey, here's a bug I caught. Do you want to eat it? Yeah. I don't think I'm not a huge fan of that. We'd also get imagination for hanging out with Hulkenberg. Interesting. And I assume there's nothing else here, right? I'm also going to make an assumption that you probably get more from hanging out with your companions than you do for like the random virtue that you get here. But the benefit of the random virtue would be, I want to use the deck. The benefit of the random virtue would be that you get a different one that isn't imagination. So if you're trying to raise something that isn't that, then I guess that would be better. Although I guess it's not random, I guess it's based on the book that you've got, but anyway. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, are you looking for something to do? My weapons are as sharp as they're gonna get, and I'm not up to much. Care to keep me company for a while? By recalling the past and planning for the future of Stroll, maybe I can hone my imagination. Yeah, let's do it.
Now then.
So up next is Martira. It feels just like yesterday when I first arrived in the royal capital. So much has happened in such a short span of time. I met you, went over to the northern fortress and awakened a mysterious power. I had once thought magic like this only existed in heroic tales of times long past. Speaking of which, I've been thinking that perhaps this is the same power that the Hero Kings once used. If that's the case, then why do you think so many of them met miserable ends? They lost their greater power, power isn't everything, or they had no allies? Maybe, I guess power isn't everything makes the most sense to us here. Like, they could have lost their greater power. That's kind of a more logical answer, more practical answer. They had no allies. No real definitive proof about that we know about, or maybe we do from the stories. But I think power isn't everything kind of covers that anyway. Yeah, and I think that's a better thing to say. Power isn't everything.
What's that about?
Oh, I see.
Ah, I see. As kings, they had to govern their people and maintain the peace. Martial might alone wouldn't help you there. Also, we got Mash from that. So, even in these conversations, we can grab Mash. Perhaps it's not a matter of how much power you have, but how you choose to wield it. Moreover, we've got more than one power at our disposal, and on top of that, we've got allies who share these abilities as well.
Then,
if we continue to master these archetypes, then maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to surpass the great hero kings of old. Though all this does make me wonder, just how many more of these powers are still out there? Felt my imagination grow as Stroll and I discussed the challenges still ahead of us.
Alright.
4! Ooh, that's a lot of increase to imagination. Come now, it's too early for bed. Let's talk some more. Stroll and I talked for a while. Cool. And we got a little bit of Mash.
On, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
good morning.
Top of the morning to you, my dear passengers. I trust that the sleeping quarters more than exceeded your expectations, eh?
True.
They were better than I'd feared, considering how tiny they are. But I've got a question of my own. Isn't the desert sand going to do a number on this runner? My boy, remember who maintains this rugged girl. Nary a grain of sand could fit between her seams, I assure you. Regardless, we'll be leaving these arid dunes behind tomorrow.
I knew it!
Wow, runners really are neat, aren't they? A carriage would never be able to get through the desert this fast, but, just keep an eye on the road, okay, Neuras? Okay. We'll arrive in Martira in 2 days, huh? Okay, now we're back to this. So, we can choose to get one of these up, so that is... Wisdom and Courage. Now, interestingly, this is the only time we've seen Courage outside of a reward for doing a dungeon or a mission, which is interesting. Okay. I'm gonna leave that be for now. So we have 2 things I want to check. I guess I need to do one of these books at one point, so I can at least compare books to how much you get from your companions. We do need to do cooking, because we've been told there's a reward for doing all the cooking. And we've got max HP. Alright, given how much the MP gave us, or how much, yeah, given how much MP it gave us, let me just have a look at us for a second. So give us 3. If it's following the same kind of thing they give you in other Atlus games, is they give you a similar amount in other games as a reward, HP will probably give us 5. That would be my guess. 5 out of 260. I'm not that impressed. I think we have to cook. I think it makes the most sense for us right now. Yeah, I think it does make the most sense. And it gives us items that we can use. Although I am tempted by this. I'm kind of tempted by both. Okay. I think we're going to do this. I think I'm more tempted by this. Just because I want to see which one's worth more. I want to do this now while it's in my head, because we can always spend time with a companion tomorrow to just secure which one gives you more. Let's read New World Travel Diary or Pride and Persuasion. Okay, so let's try and work out what these are. So New World Travel is probably Wisdom. Pride and Persuasion is Eloquence? Let's see. The book outlines useful conversational techniques for convincing others. I haven't started it yet. Started it? So does that mean you need multiple things to finish a book? Neuras probably left this here, huh? Let's take it over to the window if you want to read it together. Oh, it tells you. Eloquence. Okay. Let's start reading it. Let's see what happens.
What's that?
Apparently this book teaches you ways to ensure others will agree with you. This section is part of the basics. First impressions are vital when it comes to negotiations. Okay, I guess that's true enough. Lower the other person's guard by assuming a natural smile and humble demeanor. Then use flattery to probe for weak points.
What are you talking about?
Probe for weak points? Why? To strike them down in one hit to gain the upper hand, or to exploit them without mercy. Wow. To gain the upper hand?
Sure.
So you can gain the upper hand, perhaps.
No kidding.
Oh, I see. This feels a bit underhanded, but I guess you need things to go your way. If you need things to go your way, that's how it has to be. I feel like paying a close attention to the art of persuasion has increased my eloquence.
All right.
So we get 4 for that. Okay. Interesting. I'm surprised. I guess a bit more force can go a long way in helping negotiations go smoothly. Okay. There's still more left to read in this book. I'll pick it up from here next time.
I say, we could stop for a break.
Ahoy, break time, chums. There's something up ahead, so we'll be stopping there. What's up ahead?
Coming now into view is the Tree of Prophecy, a resplendent tapestry of color against the backdrop of the bleak desert. One theory is that the tree's roots gorge on the land's magla, and still another is that it gorges on those enraptured by its colorful foliage, as though themselves snared by the bewitching magla surrounding the tree. The Gauntlet runner comes to a stop at its base.
Here we are. Shall we get a closer look? Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow, it's so pretty.
That's...
It's not just the leaves. It's as though the whole area has been painted red.
Certainly.
This place calls to mind a picture book I read as a child. It told of a great tree located somewhere within the country whose colours shifted to foretell unusual events in the times ahead. How exactly would a tree foretell the future? And how does a plant grow this huge in the middle of a desert? I'm not sure if this explains it, but I'm sensing an incredible amount of magla in the air here. If your hypothesis is correct, then it would make this no mere tree, no sir, but a magical organism that feeds off of magla. As a matter of scientific research, I must document this discovery. Does that mean that this tree is effectively what those eggs that were absorbing magla would become? Like the ones that we saw at the cathedral? That's an interesting thought. Neuras pulled a sheet of paper and a brush from his pocket and began to draw the landscape in front of him.
Hey.
Wow, Neuras, how did you get so good at drawing? Ah, my boy, meticulous documentation is the foundation of all good research. There you have it, I'm finished. Take it as a keepsake. Wasn't it for research?
But
I thought you needed this for research. All the pertinent information I need has been etched into my very mind. I can make do without the sketch itself. Tree of Prophecy drawing. I received Neuras's research picture. The drawing is intricately detailed and could accurately convey the full majesty of this place to a viewer who has never been here.
Hey there.
Hey, why don't you give that to Maria? I bet she'd love to see something from our journey, and we could tell her a story about this place. Ah, so that's how you're going to advance Maria's bond, is by going to interesting places, getting a sketch of it, and taking it back to her and telling her a story about it. That's kind of cool. Next time we're in Grand Trad, I should give this drawing to Maria.
Huh?
Huh? A magical organism in the form of a tree. Say, aren't fairies in the same classification? Precisely! Gallica is a most precious treasure as well. I've been observing her very closely, which has given me great insight into my own research into flight.
Huh?
What? You've been observing me this whole time? I don't recall you asking, so knock it off. Well, from our memorandum, it's not going to help him very much for flight, because didn't we read that the wings don't actually do anything? It's like they float on magic, the wings are just decorative?
However,
Anyway, I mean, we also read the Ishkaya ones are decorative, so I could be getting that mixed up, but I fairly certainly read that the fairies ones weren't actually what keeps them floating. Anyway, turning our attention back to the tree, I've heard that it tints itself blue to herald the arrival of favourable developments. I wonder what manner of anomaly its current colour portends. We took a brief detour, but I feel that seeing this rare sight has broadened my wisdom.
Alright.
Okay, wonder whether at some point we're going to get to choose our route around the country, and that's going to then lead us to situations where we might want to, say, go out of our way to a landmark in order to get a benefit, which would also then let us raise, or would let us raise our bond with Maria. Maybe.
The Gauntlet runner arrives in a quiet clearing, concealed by boulders, as darkness reclaims the wilderness for itself. Monsters run rampant in the wilds. To sleep here would be perilous, unless from within the safety of a Gauntlet runner. The party, secure in their Gauntlet runner, spends the night in peace, hidden from hungry gazes.
Rockden Camp. We'll be in Martira the day after tomorrow. I wonder what kind of place Martira is. Memorandum? The Tree of Prophecy. A towering rich crimson tree of overwhelming presence that rises from the middle of the desert roughly halfway between Grand Trad and Martira. In reality, it is a magical plant that feeds on ambient magla as its nutrients. As a result, it is sensitive to subtleties in nature, such as weather and earthquakes. It is said to reflect impending natural disaster through the colour of its foliage. In recent years, both its leaves and the surrounding fog have been tinged red, never before seen reaction. The superstitious wonder if this new omen marks dark days to come. Okay. Hello. Grand Trad could dazzle even the darkest night. Out here, you can barely see the horizon. It's a comforting reminder of home, if I'm honest. I just couldn't appreciate it from a swaying gauntlet runner. You feeling better now?
Yeah.
Yes, I ate a bit and that helped. I almost envy Hulkenberg's ability to eat anything. Anytime, anywhere. I haven't always been this weak, but the swaying takes me back to times I'd sooner forget. After I lost my home, I was tossed between relatives, and each time it began with an agonizing journey in a rocking carriage. I suppose that's why I find my mind drifting to Halia. I often wonder how the people who survived are faring now. Okay. You're getting a lot of self-reflection from them. I like that the companions in this seem more fleshed out than some of the companions in previous Atlus games. Like, even though the companions were cool in previous Atlus games, you didn't really get a lot of like the same kind of reflection, and like you didn't get to get as close to them as quickly. And I think it's because you're on a journey together. Like, other ones would often have them be somebody who you went and visited, right? Like, you had to go and see them, and you would hear about an ongoing story that would advance over time. While this one is much more like you are traveling with them, and you're just checking in day after day. And I think I like the change, because, for instance, with Stroll, we're learning a little bit more about him on a day-to-day basis, right? Like, we learned that he was getting sick from this, and the reason he's getting sick is also potentially because he's remembering some of his past and some of his travels. And I like that it all connects together, and it makes it feel more like one connected story rather than like, oh, I need to go and speak to this person so I can advance this next story one step, and then I might not speak to them for months, then I'll advance the next step of the story. Right? It feels more natural, I think. Anyway, enough about that. Hulkenberg, you want to talk?
Well met.
Well met. I don't suppose you're as overburdened with free time as I am. I'm certainly no stranger to traveling, but I've no idea how to spend the idle hours. If the idea appeals, might we talk a bit? Okay, let's do it. This power we've awoken to. I have all sorts of questions, but what I really find curious are all these forms we take on. Each has their unique aspects, but one bit they all have in common is their armor-like appearance. What do you make of that? Is cool?
Certainly.
I think it looks cool.
I see.
I do find the austerity of the designs intriguing, but I was not speaking on how they look per se. In my opinion, the armor encloses the raging forces within us, allowing us to direct that power, as one directs a horse by its reins. It's said that people lose their magic because they refuse to confront their fears and anxieties, forever unaware that that power lurking within them. Is that not then the very condition to awake her slumbering power? Hence, why it is so exhausting and why it cannot be maintained for long. The ravenous appetite I had afterwards is proof. We do well to practice diligence in maintaining our food reserves. Hulkenberg and I talked about things to come. I feel my imagination increased. That's kind of cool. So Stroll is thinking about the past. He's thinking about the responsibility of this power. He's wondering what happened to the people who previously had it. He's wondering if he can surpass the people who previously had it. While Hulkenberg is looking into the mechanics, she is like, okay, we've got this power, but why does it work? Why is it taking the form it takes? Is there some meaning to it? Is there some reason why we are now feeling hungry after we use it? Is it because we are using extra energy, like because of X, Y, and Z? I think that's kind of interesting, the different ways in which they're analyzing the same problem.
All right.
Anyway, we get 4 here, which is nice. It's getting quite late, but we've a ways to go yet, so I would very much like to continue chatting with you. Okay. And we got our Maj.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
So what I want to do now is I want to speak to one of our companions to raise our stats. Oh! Full cutscene.
Hooray! We're out of the desert!
Huh?
Oh wow, I missed all this green!
Ugh. Why is it so bumpy?
That'd be the change in terrain, lad.
See, you got to let the suspensions get used to hard ground instead of soft sand.
Must be nice to fly everywhere. What the? Did we just crash?
Of course not. That's
A cannonade.
Oh.
My star is rising! Ah!
It looks like we've been hit from the side in somebody else's conflict. It doesn't look like they were aiming at us, at least from what we can see.
Sanctism will reign! Ah! It's them. Remember, from the opening ceremony. I think one of them is Gideaux, Forden's confidant, and the other is Luis's man, Gladel.
Prominent candidates. Shouldn't the king's magic petrify them for their aggression?
Only if they're within the top 20, and it is only personal protection that we know of. But we also learned from reading about it that it may only apply to situations like murder. If this is a fair duel that they have both agreed to, then the magic would not protect them.
No, see where they're aiming. They're not shooting to kill, just to take out the opposing runner's legs.
That too. It doesn't seem like they're trying to land a fatal shot, just aiming to break the opposing side's Gauntlet runner, just to make it so that they can't compete. Makes sense.
stuck out in the wilds with no working runner. Whether they survive or not, they're dashed well out of the race.
So 'tis a clash to halt each other's advance. Damned fools couldn't resist a show of force.
Look! Over by the legs. That crier is there too.
I see. Acting as witness to the higher candidate's conflict. It seems Gladel cannot match Gideaux's firepower.
Our plan hinges on winning Luis's favor. Can we afford to abandon Gladel if he's one of Luis's supporters?
What's our plan? If we just hang back and watch, Gideaux's gonna win. And Vorden gets a leg up on the competition.
Ooh, an actual choice. Do we want to help out Gladel, or do we want to see how it plays out? Well, if we help Gladel, what happens? Well, Forden's supporter is not at the end event. You can see how it plays out, so Forden's supporter could be there, and Gladel likely isn't there. But Gladel is here because Gladel is trying to, he's trying to gain Luis's attention and gain Luis's favor. I think we should stay out of this.
How about we see how it plays out?
No, I think we should step in on Gladel's side. I know, I don't like it either, but if we want Luis's favor, this might be the strategic play we need.
Never mind, it was not a choice.
Agreed. Let us ride to Gladel's aid.
I say, hold on. You realize you're a no-name candidate, eh? If he wants to shut you out, he'll not have to aim for just our legs.
It's a runner, isn't it? If things get too dicey, we'll just run. Didn't you say we had the fastest craft around?
Fine. Suppose there's no room for caution if we want the world's eyes on us.
Okay then, it's settled. Let's make sure he owes us big.
There should be an external runner phone out there.
We're here to help! Withdraw, Gladel! Who goes there? Why do you stand for Luis's forces? Well, sorry, can't get into it now. That Gauntlet runner. You're that commoner candidate who destroyed the Grand Cathedral! Was that not enough? You would profane the sacred a second time!
So be it. In God's name, be thou punished.
I told you this was a bad idea. Gideaux and his monks have boarded the deck. Looks like he knows magic won't shield us. He's aiming to kill us here and now. Oh!
You dare interfere in my fight! Know your place!
Yeah, okay, we made a terrible decision.
Is it fame you seek? You thought by confronting me, you might lift your own names? Then you chose the wrong opponent.
I hate to interrupt, Old Egg, but it's a touch more complex than that.
We of the Crown Theocracy's monk army have silenced all who would oppose the eminence of God. Your petty ruses are beneath me. Now you shall know how powerless you truly are.
Remember, the king's magic means we cannot move to strike Gideaux himself.
Go for his followers first. We'll thin their numbers and turn the tide.
Go, my brethren! Put the fear of God into these impious commoners!
Don't forget about the petrification magic!
Don't forget about the petrification. What petrification magic?
Looks like we can't brute force through this one.
Okay. Fire? Well, actually, you know what? Let's do a slicer.
I will usher you to his side.
Let's go.
We could go for a synthesis and do like a Cande.
It's not working.
Cease your resistance.
Gideaux.
Oh, right. You can't even use AoE to attack. I understand now. Well, that's not ideal. Oh, you're also a mage. I forgot you're a mage currently. Fire? Resist. Might be ice. Cocky smirk. We're weak to that. We need to move into the back. He's okay.
What could you hope to
Cocky
achieve?
smirk. That's fine.
You've got some fancy footwork.
Okay.
Skull. He knows we can't attack him. He's too
So, slicer.
Hack and slash.
That's fine.
Me, brethren.
Blizz.
I
Resist.
shall show
Okay.
you what I'm stepping
Move
back.
to the back.
Oh, power of
And
heroes.
we haven't tested the spear monk for these things, I suppose. We kind of assume that
now.
they're going to be the same though, right? Yeah. We do have synthesis, but we can't use very much of it anyway. Let's try fire on the spear monk. Neutral. Okay. Cocky smirk. Ow. Need to heal.
What
Okay.
could you hope to achieve?
Brace yourselves!
So it's probably best to just use a heal on this turn. Yeah, heal
Deal
yourself.
with this.
I'll show you the essence of
Followed by... We haven't tested electric in this monk. Let's test it. Resist.
Observe the enemy.
Okay.
Not this one.
We haven't tested ice on this monk. Test it.
Hulkenberg got them
Weak to ice. Fantastic. Slicer.
Tougher than I thought.
Okay. We have a weakness.
More resilient than I expected. I would lose nothing by conceding this fight. But the faithful are watching. For the sake of my dear brethren, I must hold nothing back. Now, feel the righteous truth of sanctism engraved upon your flesh.
Does this mean he's getting serious?
Rise, my
Get
brothers.
in there.
Okay. That's fine. We're at the back, which is okay. That's not okay.
Sanctism will
Is
reign.
that all?
Okay.
Hulkenberg's badly
Ow.
Take this.
Okay.
Sanctism will reign.
Not here.
Well, we're alive.
Hulkenberg's in bad shape. She needs help.
Let's start with Blizz.
You hit their weakness.
We're gonna follow that up with Blizz.
Hulkenberg got them right in their weak spot.
Then we're gonna go for Slicer. Blizz. Followed by healing. Do we have fairy dust, I suppose? Might be our best move. Either that or
sense in
guarding.
waste.
Guarding and then healing might be our best move. Unless I've got anything else. Yeah, I
Perhaps
think
not.
guarding and healing, unless we think we can kill this guy. I think we can kill him. I'm gonna heal Hulkenberg. There we go. Slicer.
I'll cut you down.
We got one. Okay. That's fine. Normal attack's not an issue.
Badly wounded.
That's fine.
Can anyone heal
Sanctism
him?
will reign.
That was actually pretty good for us, all things considered. Could have been much
Someone
worse.
heal him.
Okay. Medium ice magic.
It's yours.
Is everyone
followed by
Captain.
teach him ice magic,
Are you prepared?
followed by diagonal slash.
So, the faithful are broken before you, yet your desperate struggling is for naught. You cannot defy the inevitable. I am immune to all your wicked harms.
Oh, he gets to do whatever he wants, and we can't even get near him.
Bend the knee and yield to the divine truth of sanctism. Now, are you prepared for the end?
Ah, I think not, you rotter!
What have you done to my Gauntlet Runner?
We've nothing to lose. At the very least, I can thrash your old clunker until it's inoperable.
This is a waste of my time. So be it. You'll face your divine punishment soon enough.
Phew. Finally, he took the hint. Hey, get down here! What are you playing at? You think I owe you now or something? I would have been fine without your meddling.
Is the person next to him a half Ishkaya? It's interesting. Let's see what we're gonna say here. Wanted to help. Are you hurt, or I guess you live to see another day? Let's say let's be a little bit standoffish. Let's say I guess you live to see another day. I mean, these are what I would naturally go for our character, but let's try and play a role here with Liddell.
I guess you survived this time.
Don't you talk down to me. You want to see what I'm really capable of.
Also, I don't think she's an Ishkaya. I think she just has a wing-looking piece of armor on.
Why, Liddell, surely you can spare some manners for a crew that saved our lives? Honestly, that got a bit ugly for my liking.
Well, well, well. Do my eyes deceive me? Juna the songstress in the flesh. What brings you all the way out here? A little tryst on the road, is it?
Nothing so saucy. I'm afraid this cad's just my chauffeur. Now please, darling, a little privacy, or I'll have to charge for an interview.
Fair enough, miss. Fair enough. Nothing you're not used to. Consider me chastened and shooed.
I didn't realize, but she's the singer who we saw at the opening ceremony, I think.
Besides, I might have found another angle here that's just as promising.
You surprised me out there, love. You bested Gideaux. So you're not just a pretty face. You were more help than my useless driver, at least.
Look here. However talented and famed a songstress she may be, you must remember to contain yourselves.
Yeah, do what Neuras is doing.
Songstress? Wait, is she the same Nydia lady who sang at the opening ceremony?
Aye, but that's... oh, blast it all, I can't take it anymore. I'd know the suspensions anywhere. You had Caden workshop on this, eh? Yes, those are quality parts and no mistake. Luis really shells out for his own.
By the crown, you can't be serious! She is Juna, the kingdom's greatest singer, the dulcet diva! Oh, this is preposterous! Surely I can't be the only one starstruck? Really? No one else wants to shake her hand? Well, then on behalf of this group, I suppose it falls to me.
You're an interesting little ensemble. Wait, is that a fairy? A real living one? Where did you...
Hey, up there!
Oh. Luis's runner?
An airborne Gauntlet runner. He's actually finished it.
Luis.
My Lord Luis. How kind to provide a personal escort.
So that's it. I thought it was strange that a candidate like Gideaux got stuck playing someone's driver.
But she was still the Sanctist's pick for the opening ceremonies? Guess even Forden's camp has to bend to popular opinion.
My humblest apologies, my Lord Luis, for this travesty, especially when you had graced me with the privilege of bearing the lovely Lady Juna.
Glad to see Lady June is safe, at least.
I could have crushed that churchman like a bug. And I would have if these insolent fools hadn't.
I'm sure. Sorry, don't much care.
It would seem you had to clean up my associate's mess. I'd like to express my gratitude, but if I might ask, who are you?
Okay. We're your supporters. I'm a candidate, or take a wild guess. I don't think we want to be too eager. Let's say we're a candidate and see what he says. Also, is that a new tribe he's got to our right? Or to his right? His left, our right? Interesting.
I'm just another candidate.
Indeed. Then we are both striving for the throne. One would think you commoners, but for the Lady Knight at your side. And you have a Gauntlet runner. Most curious. What made you decide to enter the competition?
Also, I wonder if he recognizes Hulkenberg, given that he will have seen her before.
Looks like he's more interested than we anticipated. This might be our chance, so choose your words wisely, okay?
He's asking why I became a candidate. How should I respond? To help save the prince? No, I can't say that. Surely there's going to be some differences here. To become king, to save the prince, to help you. Like, surely there would have to be a consequence of saying that, story-wise. Maybe it just instantly kills you. Who knows? What do we want to say? I think to help you is a little too forward. I think to help save the prince is a little too revealing of our plan. I'm going to say to become king. He might see us as an enemy.
Hey, I know you want to get this right, but this is no time to get lost in thought.
Oh, never mind. It's not a choice. To help save the prince. Bound to complete secrecy when it comes to the prince. Should I really share that?
The more you hesitate, the more suspicious you'll sound. You've got to get this right.
I see. To help you, Count Luis.
I want to help you, Count Luis.
Oh? You fight in my name, do you?
Really now? So, you thought you'd step in for a little self-promotion?
Ah, not a new tribe, because I just realized it says short Parapus there. He just happens to be short. Okay.
We want to help anyone in need. That's what we believe in. Anyone. Most interesting. However, my immediate needs are met in terms of swordhounds.
Oh, come now. Don't they have a certain charisma to them? Why? I dare say I saw them use magic without igniters.
Please, I know we can help you. We want nothing more than to see your vision realized, Lord Luis. You do know what that vision is built on, don't you? If you would claim yourself my ally, then prove your power before all the kingdom's eyes. You can't change the world without power, after all. If you can manage that, I'll consider your proposal.
Okay.
See you, loves.
Don't think this changes anything. Come on, Hector!
It soars like a damn bird.
Right then. That could have gone worse. We were lucky we managed to connect with Luis this early.
No thanks to that Gideaux. Even should we be accepted, he'll be no ally of ours.
Well, at the very least, Luis knows our faces. All we have to do now is avoid screwing it up.
He wants to see our power, does he? Then let's find Heisme, bring him to justice, and show the nation we're a force to be reckoned with.
Okay.
As the chirping birds return to their nests and the darkness claims its dominion, the Gauntlet Runner at last arrives at its repose, a place grown thick with trees. Are the sounds from between the trees just the leaves being caressed by the wind? Or are they the whispers of the beguiling beams of the dark? The party never has to find out, for they are safe within the Gauntlet Runner.
Ah! Oh, damn it, blast!
Did you hear that?
It's over. The end of the road. So ends the life of the genius engineer.
Let's say we go check on him.
Okay.
Oh.
Hey! Neuras, you okay?
Oh, you two. Terribly sorry. It's nothing, really.
You seem troubled.
Is there something troubling you?
Ah, well, I suppose you could say that. It's just the runner, you see? She's in top shape, but I wanted to make her peerless. An absolute beauty, you know, top of her class. Something that would make even old Luis's runner look like a bally apple cart. I'd not be floundering so much if I just had a bit of spark.
A spark?
Yes, my girl. A spark of inspiration. A moment of epiphany, like when I saw the lost relic.
Lost relic? Doesn't ring a bell.
Ah, yes, context. They say that long, long ago, there was a civilization so highly advanced it was beyond all modern understanding. Automation ruled the day. People lived surrounded by machinery with no need to work. Legend has it that they lived lives of convenience and comfort, but somehow that civilization just up and disappeared. God only knows what happened to them.
Sounds kind of far-fetched already.
Hear me out, would you? The point is, once in a stretch, you hear about someone unearthing relics from those days of yore. Absolutely inscrutable to the layman, don't you know? But those in the know would recognize such a prize at a single glance.
Have you seen one?
Have you ever seen one of these yourself?
Oh, yes. When I was but a young sproglet, there was this loony old inventor in my neighborhood, both quite brilliant and quite daffy, as they often are. That old fellow only showed me his find once, but even seeing it lit a fire in me, like being struck by lightning. After that, it was like a boiling pot. Ideas, ideas, ideas rising to the surface. And my tinkering always came out marvelous. Some proper court engineer-worthy genius. Something about it utterly captured my imagination. The lost relic, I mean.
Wow. You could try getting him to show you again.
If only I could. That old fellow went back to his own hometown. That single solitary glimpse of the past was all I had. The old goat. He told me he'd leave me the relic in his will.
Okay, so where's this guy's hometown?
Oh, some tiny hamlet somewhere on the outskirts of Martira. A village by the name of Camiro or some such.
Maybe I should look into Camiro when we get to Martira.
This one's important.
Providing a spark, an old adventurer Neuras once knew is living in Camiro, a village near Martira. He may be able to tell us more about the relic once he once showed Neuras. 5 heroes incense for doing it. Okay. We left Neuras, who dissolved into doom and gloom again, and headed towards our narrow sleeping quarters in the Gauntlet Runner.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Okay, so we're jumping a little bit, as in we'd skipped a day effectively, in terms of what we were expecting. So we'll arrive in Martira this evening then. Good. Soon we'll be liberated from this blasted shaking. Liberated, I do believe. I take offense to that. This fairy girl's right, you know, a carriage could never keep up this pace. Some gratitude would be appreciated. Apologies, I am grateful, it's just hard to show it while on the verge of losing your lunch. That, and I pray we can avoid further hindrances like yesterday's.
Isn't that...
Once we arrive in town, we're supposed to meet with Barden, right? I'm sure the sights will be distracting, but let's not keep the man waiting.
Departing the capital and barreling southward, the party's Gauntlet runner at last arrives in the old castle town, Martira, where their client Barden awaits. The towering castle's stark walls stare down coldly upon its visitors. The only question now is whether or not this gambit was the right move.
Tis far more desolate a place than I'd heard.
Not many people out. It's like everyone's afraid of something.
Ah, you're here! I've been hoping you'd show up soon.
I know it's been a while, but we pledged to help you. We'll not go back on our word.
Glad to hear it. I'm sure Lady Joanna will also be pleased.
How did he beat us here? Wait a second. Has it not only been 4 days? Because did we not... We met him the day before we got our Gauntlet runner, right? And... yeah, we met him the day before we got our Gauntlet runner. So, it's been 4 days? What do you mean it's been a while? What an odd bit of dialogue. Anyway, moving on. You're not meant to analyse it that closely.
Oh, your pardon. Lady Joanna rules this city. She's also a most holy sanctoress of the Sanctus Church. She lives there, in Criganti Castle.
I take it the locals are hoping for His Eminence Forden to win the tournament.
Aye, naturally. No sane and righteous man would want Luis on the throne. Speaking of, I heard there was a scuffle on the road between two candidates Gauntlet runners. The criers say Forden's ally suffered the worst of it.
Ah, well, that's Luis's camp for you. I assume it was them, I mean. Some nasty characters at his heel, eh?
Well, what were you gonna say? I think saying it's not our business is the best outcome here. I think just say it wasn't us, but we're doing our own thing, and move on.
It's really none of my business.
Ah. Aye. Best not to get distracted by this tattle when you've got a mission to attend to. Admirably practical.
Got quite a positive outlook, doesn't he?
Captain, are you sure we can trust these strangers? These bounty boarders are always in it just for the money.
Looks like his officer's not on our side just yet.
Dinna be rude, Morris. They've come a long way for our sakes. Now, I'm sure you must be knackered from the journey. Let me show you to an inn. You can try our local speciality, perhaps.
Ah, you've a local delicacy. It would be a welcome treat.
You chaps go on. The old girl needs a bit of maintenance after carrying us so far.
Can't that wait until you've eaten?
Too much at stake, lad. Go on, don't worry, and I'll sort her out. Might well fix the bally waterworks while I'm at it.
Come, everyone. This way.
Okay.
Is this some kind of smoked dish?
That seems about right, although I'm a little bit more worried about what's on our plates.
Roasted larvae of the giant sandworm. It's Martira's culinary speciality.
And it looks like we've got some bits on our plate, which is... The fact that we've got spoon is upsetting me, because it's obviously organic on the outside, and then we're spooning up the insides. I don't know if I want to look at this much longer.
Cook to a delicate finish, just enough to preserve all the natural juices and flavors of the innards.
Yep, that's what we're doing. You take a slice and then you eat the innards.
Oh, good. Larval innards.
Tis a unique texture, to be sure, but the taste is divine. Exquisite.
You're completely serious, aren't you?
Something the matter? Do try some of your own before it gets cold.
Looks great.
Looks great.
Come now, they're offering us fine hospitality. 'Tis only right that we graciously savor it.
Yes, absolutely right. I'll be cheering you on. And, I'll see to the funeral plans.
I've barely bitten into this thing and I already feel a spray of something. But as for the taste, it's not that bad.
Are you actually enjoying that?
How was it? Sometimes the insides can twitch a bit, but it's harmless, I assure you.
Okay.
Would that I had time to try more of your dishes, but... to business. Can you fill us in on the details of all these kidnappings?
Aye. Our wee ones have been going missing for at least 6 months. All told, we're looking at 15 children now unaccounted for.
And you think this Heismay is your culprit?
I'm told he's a disgraced knight with nowhere else to turn. We've no proof, but the pieces fit. Seems to me that with nothing else to lose, he's gone rogue.
For a man who claimed a knight's honor to stoop to such horrors. 'Tis unacceptable. We must end this quickly, for our sake and his own.
If I recall the brief, it'll be quite a feat to even get near this Heismay. His hideout was in the midst of the Sandworm's territory, yes?
Aye, well remembered. He certainly isn't going to make this easy for us.
So... is Heismay's hideout way out here? Looks pretty far from Martira.
Also, whose Gauntlet runner is that on the way? Is that Luis's or someone else's? A giant sandworm's nest in a wasteland, reputed to be the hideout of Heismay the Kidnapper. The area is subject to a unique weather phenomenon known as sand flash.
Here's where we are now.
There's a runner.
Major candidate's Gauntlet runner seems to be here.
It's a campground.
Campground as well. Okay.
Now that you mention it, I have to wonder how we can even survive out there.
We've been chasing any lead we have, but we can't figure it all out. We're in over our heads.
We'll get the job done.
We'll get this job done.
We're awful grateful to have you. And don't worry, we'll pay you what you're due. After all, nobody else in the royal capital would give it a second glance.
We help anyone in need. That's why we've come this far.
Inspiring words, young man. Now, I hope you're not full yet. We've a whole spread of other dishes for you. Now this is the pride of the town. A fine sweetmeat made from the juvenile sandworm's entrails. You'll find this tastes as sweet as any dessert.
Alright. I'll take your word for it.
Together, I'm sure we can find a way to the stronghold without falling prey to those worms. Now, please, dig in.
Tis altogether different from the roast. Why, 'tis succulent as a mellow fruit. Another marvel.
You must have gotten used to eating anything you had to out in the wilds, eh?
I'll schedule a meeting with the Honourable Lady Joanna tomorrow. Please, rest your weary heads for today.
If they aren't here calling a free meal out of us, that is.
Now, let's go.
It's been a while.
It's been forever since I had such a spacious bed.
Exactly.
We're going to meet the lady of the town first thing in the morning, so get your beauty sleep, okay? Alright. And with that, we've arrived here, and it is time for us to end the episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.